On day 4 we got up real early and set off into the darkness towards West Texas. Our first planned stop of the day was Van Horn as we needed to fill up the bikes. But on the plains close to Valentine we had to stop to see the fake Paso store that was set up as an art installation in 2004. In Van Horn we filled up the bikes and emptied ourselves. We turned into Texas 54 and headed north again. A massive ranch called the Figure 2 Ranch was stretching along the side of the road. It took almost 1 hour to ride from one end to the other. At one of the long straights, we had to stop to take in the vast landscapes and take some photos. After a while, we got into US 62 and Salt Flat. We had no idea this was on our way, and again we had to just stop to take it in. In Cornutas, we stopped at the highway at an old Pony Express station. We walked into a nice little museum and had a well-deserved break for our tired behinds. Kept going towards El Paso, and after a while we entered the suburbs of the border town. We had now been on the road for almost 5 hours and hadn't eaten anything yet, not even breakfast. So well inside old El Paso, we decided it was Taco Tuesday and found a very nice taco place called Taco Neta. There we got some absolutely awesome tacos as well as Mexican beer and Mexican Coca-Cola. Mexicola is sweetened with sugar and not corn syrup as it is in the US. Now with our bodies rested and full of energy, we needed to fill up the bikes as well. Most US states don't require adults to wear helmets when riding motorcycles, so we just hopped on the bikes and enjoyed the very short ride to the gas station in total freedom. At the gas station we met a really nice man with a really cute puppy, and since he was homeless we gave him some money so he could feed himself as well as the dog. The Rio Grande is the border between the US and Mexico, all the way from the Gulf to El Paso. We got back on the bikes and shortly after we crossed the first state line on the trip. We were now in New Mexico. From the state line between Texas and New Mexico, the biggest, most fantastic and wonderful fence takes over from the Rio Grande to protect the border. We kept going west and all the time we had the fence to our left. We stopped for a while to let it sink in, but decided that filming the fence for too long might not be the very best idea. The fence in New Mexico and Arizona stretches about 629 kilometers. That's longer than the distance between Oslo and Copenhagen. We kept going west, and all the time we had the fence to our left. Miles after miles after miles. Shortly after, we arrived at Columbus, New Mexico, where we stopped for a rest and a cool drink in the shade at the Borderland Cafe. Columbus is not the center of the world, but it has a nice little railway museum, and it's the scene of where Winch Apollo attacked US in 1905. We also put a mark on the little town before heading west. On our way towards Animas, we crossed the Continental Divide, and all the rivers and waterways we crossed from this point would end up in the Pacific. We were now truly in the west of the US of A. We kept pressing westwards, and we were getting close to our goal of the day and had the last stop for gas before the road towards the old mining town of Bisbee. We crossed our second state line of the day into Arizona. The presidential election was coming up in just a few weeks, and we were absolutely in no doubt what direction the vote was going in the areas we had visited so far. In Bisbee, we just rode through the town before heading to the final destination, the famous western town of Tombstone. After a long day and lots of hours in the saddle, we finally made it to the Trail Riding Motel in Tombstone. We decided it was time to let off some steam and set course for the famous Allen Street, where one can almost smell the gunpowder from the numerous gunfights in the past. First up was Big Nose Kate's Saloon, where we tasted what was supposed to be Doc Holliday's favorite bourbon and left a little gift from Norway. We also visited a few other waterholes, including the legendary Crystal Palace Saloon, before the two wearied out cowboys headed back to the motel and some well-deserved rest.